Hello guys, today we are going to make boots out of fabric and an old pair of shoes. Okay, so there's different styles that you can do. You can always, be creative. That's the whole point in doing all of this. This is probably for beginners to maybe advance. This class you can do it by hand or you can use the sewing machine. Okay, the first thing you're gonna need is whatever pattern you're gonna need your shoes, whatever fabric you're gonna use. Okay, and then you're gonna need this E6000. It's very good. Okay, and then you're gonna need a sewing needle and of course the thread. So I'm gonna go ahead and thread this machine so we can get started. So I have a pattern that I made. You can use this pattern for basically any boot that you're making. Okay, so I'm going to show you examples of the ones that I've made. You can be very creative. These can be used for booties. You just use your discretion and everything with what you use. Okay, so this is the same pattern I used to make these boots. So you have this one. You can use the same pattern to make boots. I also use the same pattern to make these. Okay, these are the thigh highs. When you're doing something like this, you want to make sure you take your measurements of your legs and everything. And also I use the same pattern to make these also. Okay, so you can use the same pattern. If you want the pattern, just link me and I'll send you a copy in your email, okay, so you can use it. Okay, so basically, if you look very carefully, this is shaped like a boot. So you're gonna have to cut two of these, right, and then make one pattern. So this is the original pattern right here, and then we're gonna just sew here. I already sewed it, so I'm just gonna pretend I'm sewing. So you sew. You take the two pattern and you sew it together. Okay. Now this is the other piece that goes to the top. When you have this pattern and you are using a rounder toe, just cut it round. If you have a bigger size, just cut it bigger. Okay. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna just use the center. And we're going to just pin this. Just pin it here. Okay. You can just pin it all the way like you do. So I'm not going to start sewing. So now remember, when you're using a stretch fabric, make sure that you cut it a little bit smaller because you're going to have a stretch to it. Now when you're doing using fabric that doesn't have any stretch to it at all, that's something that you are going to have exact measurements. Okay, so now what we're going to do here, we're going to take the two ends right here at the heel and we're just going to sew that. Okay. Now you can adjust this according to your calf, your ankles, and all that stuff. But this is just a basic, pattern. Now, if you're doing thigh-high boots, of course you're gonna cut it longer with your measurements. Okay, so now this is it. So we're gonna turn it inside out. Okay. So here's the shoe. You're gonna take the shoes. Most people put it on their feet so it could be exact, but you can do that. But if you're doing it for yourself, make sure you put it on your feet. Okay. So if you look here, what I did is I put the same seam from what I just sewed to this here, right here, so it meets up. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my needle and thread. You can use the coat thread, something like that. This is only to, this is just to make it stable before you glue it. You want to make sure that the shoes are stable. Okay? So I'm just going to take this and sew it right at the heel here, right where these meet. Okay? So make sure that they meet. This is it will take you several times to kind of get it down where you are absolutely making gorgeous shoes. Okay, so if you don't get it right the first time, don't worry about it. Okay? Because this is not so easy. What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to put it on my feet. Put the shoe on first. Usually it's easier to just put it on. So I just put the thread there so it's there. Okay, like this, like so. I'm going to put the shoes on. These are not my size, but I'm going to put it on here. So what I'm doing is I have the shoes on my feet, and what I'm doing is I'm stitching the fabric together like this so it can wrap around the shoes. I'm going to show you after I take these off what it looks like on the bottom. Okay. If you are more advanced and you don't need this guide, what you do is you just put it on your feet and just glue this, and it'll be fine. Okay. This fabric has a stretch to it. It stretches, so it usually if the fabric is not stretched, you might have to use a zipper or something to get access in the shoes, for the shoes. Okay, so let me take this off now. Should have used a longer thread, but this is fine. I'm just gonna just knot it here and end it. Well, basically that's it. If you're hand sewing it, you do it like that. Okay, this is not doing that, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. So that's my guide. So I'm gonna pull. Make sure I adjust it properly. This is why it's important that you do this first, because then you have room to adjust it instead of gluing it, because sometimes people glue it and the shoes are not centered properly. Okay? I'm going to make sure it's centered. like I said, this is not some easy task. Okay, so here we go. So now I'm adjusting it. So once you have this, let's see if I can pull this together. Okay, so once you have this on like this, you want to continue, you want to start gluing. Okay, once you have it, and then what you're going to do is just going to glue it and let it sit for 24 hours. Okay, so this is a stretch fabric. So this is how it should be looking when you're done, right? And if you want to add some designs or anything like that, just cut a piece of fabric, or if you like, because this is yellow already, I left the heel out, but you can put some rhinestones, you can put ribbons, you can put whatever you want on these. And then for the bottom, now if you want to put on a bottom, what you want to do is cut a piece of, take the shoe and trace it on a piece of paper. Take the bottom of the shoe, cut a piece of paper, trace it, and cut it out from another fabric. But make sure, if you're going to be wearing this outside, please put rubber soles on here. Go to a shoemaker and get rubber soles, because you can't walk outside. It's not really safe to be walking outside with fabric or plastic or anything like that under the shoes if you're going to be wearing it outside. Okay, so please, you know, put a non-slip on the bottom of these shoes if you're going to decide to wear something like this that you've made outside, just for your safety. Alright, so that's basically it for this. I'm going to try to do another tutorial with the whole thing from front to finish, but if you're interested in that pattern, just subscribe and send me your email. I'll send you a copy of the pattern. But this is another type of boot that I've made also. These are more advanced, because you have to add zippers. Okay, now if you're just beginning with the shoe, you just, you know, everything is different. This is this one is the velvet one. This is pretty easy because you don't have to add zippers or anything to it. And you know, I just applied appliques and just glued this on, and you can just wear this. And as you can see, I put a bottom on here, but you can also put the short step, and after you're finished making your shoe, just glue it on here at the bottom, so it's a non-slip. That's if you're going to be wearing it, you know, wearing shoes outside, or go to a shoemaker and get rubber soles on the bottom of the shoes. Okay, just for your safety if you're doing something like that, or if you're reselling. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please you know, subscribe and write me down at the bottom. Okay.